Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are, well, not just around the corner, but certainly not too far off, and you might want to start thinking about your team right now. Well, you could just use your favorites, and probably should. There are obviously some that are stronger and you should use. Today, we'll count them down. Everyone knows that you should use Garchomp. Cynthia is probably the strongest trainer in all of Pokemon, and she uses Garchomp, so obviously, so should you. Everyone knows that, and because everyone knows that, Garchomp won't be on the list. Also, all three starters are strong and you're required to get them, obviously, very early in the game, so those also won't be on the list. Plus, I'm gonna assume these games have the Platinum decks, because of course they will. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get started with number 10, Bibero. Bibero's only number 10 because low stats drag it down, but Water Normal is a really good stab combo. It has a phenomenal move pool, and it learns every HM in the game, if those return for some reason. There's not much to say here, Bibero is just pretty good, especially early in the game. Number 9, Luxray. It has an incredible physical attack stat, but it looks like it should have way more speed than it does. Low speed, plus the fact that there aren't many good physical electric moves, means that I can't really put it higher, but an electric type is still really good to deal with Cyrus. Number 8, Gardevoir. Psychic Fairy is a really good type combo, and while it doesn't match up super well against most gym leaders, the fact that it can take down Cynthia's Garchomp is alone worthy of being on this list. I did the calcs, and even with you having the worst special attack you possibly can, Moonblast is still a 2-hit KO on Cynthia's Garchomp. If you don't have something to deal with that monster, you're screwed, and Gardevoir is a good option for that. Number 7, Roserade. Probably the best grass type you can get in Sinnoh, Roserade has an incredible special attack stat, a move pool that can make good use of it, and good matchups against a lot of the game. This thing does well against Rourke, Crasher Wake, Volkner defensively, and Bertha of the Elite Four, as well as Cynthia's Milotic and her Togekiss, though the latter is a bit risky. You almost certainly want a grass type, and among them, Roserade is probably your best option. Number 6, Floatzoll. Most of its stats aren't really the best, but 105 attack and 115 speed is nothing to sneeze at. It gets access to Ice Fang, which even with all the odds stacked against you can 2-shot, and possibly even 1-shot, Cynthia's Garchomp. Like I said for Gardevoir, you need something to deal with that. You also probably want a water type for this game, which isn't really the case for a fairy type like Gardevoir. Number 5, Alakazam. While being a trait evolution brings it down a bit in my eyes, mainly because I have trust issues, 135 special attack, 120 speed, confusion as soon as it becomes a Kadabra at level 16, and being able to turn that into an Alakazam immediately, if you want, means that Alakazam is a very solid option. It doesn't match up particularly well against the game, but it doesn't match up poorly either, and with that monster, that's all you need. Number 4, Houndoom. There are only 5 fully evolved fire types in Sinnoh, and since one of them is Infernape, there's really only 4 to choose from, because if you need one, it means you don't have Infernape. They're all fine, but Magmortar is a trait evo, which brings it down, Flareon's move pool doesn't fit a physical attacker that well, and Rapidash just evolves really late. The main point you'd want a fully evolved fire type is Candace, the 7th gym leader and an ice specialist, but unless you're pouring all the XP you get into Ponyta, you won't even have it by then. Houndoom, however, is a cool-looking dark fire Pokemon with good stats, a good move pool, and a reasonable evolution level. Fire types aren't really necessary, but if you want one, Houndoom is definitely the best option. Number 3, Blissey. I gotta say, when I started writing this list, I was not expecting to put Blissey on here, but it really is worthy of being here because look at this HP! That HP alone is enough for it being worthy of being on here. Yeah, it can't do much in terms of offense, but having that much bulk means that anything else is pretty much superfluous. You can cripple them with status, hopefully toxic. Please, Game Freak, please give us back a toxic TM, but otherwise paralysis with Thunder Wave, and then just heal yourself with Soft Boiled and damage them with Double Edge. Also, if you're using items, you can just send in Blissey, and then have it be a damage sponge while you heal up your Pokemon to attack with. Seriously, this thing is so good. How is this in the game? Number 2. Water Onyx. Do I even need to explain why this thing is so good? With 125 base attack, 81 base speed, okay-ish bulk mainly on the special side, and availability as soon as you get a Magikarp, which is available as soon as you get the Old Rod to level 20, this thing is broken. The only problem is that it doesn't get many good stab moves, since it has terrible special attack, and it literally doesn't learn a physical flying move by level, but that's not even that big a deal. The thing can just act as your water type. Also, it gets Ice Fang by level up, meaning it can deal with Cynthia's Garchomp, and we all know how good that is. Seriously, you need to use this thing. The only thing that stops it from being number 1 is that you need to get a Magikarp to level 20, meaning you probably wouldn't take advantage of it being a water type until Flint of the Elite Four. That isn't true, however, for number 1, Staraptor. You can get it literally on the first route of the game. It has 120 base attack, which is almost as good as Water Onyx, and a superior base speed of 100, stab typings, both of which it can take advantage of, and access to Close Combat, the best fighting move in the game, Brave Bird, the best flying move in the game, and Roost, to heal itself if you're not using items. In previous gens it also got Return, but Return's not in Gen 8, so I doubt it'll be in these games either. That is the only drawback, because Return was pretty much its only good normal move, because Giga Impact has a recharge turn, and Facade's not that strong, at least not compared to Return's 120 base power at max friendship. Seriously, if you don't use this thing, you are doing something wrong. Please subscribe, goodbye.